Hey guys, Ben here, and today we are back with yet another video. Today we are going to be starting actually a new mini-series on the channel, and it is going to be gun comparisons. Now, I've seen these all over, and I decided why not try making our own, because they are super duper cool videos. I'm an analytical dude, if you guys couldn't tell, which from all the top 5s, I hope you were able to tell. But today we are going to be ranking two assault rifles, actually the first two you unlock in multiplayer. So if you're trying to get into multiplayer, you're mainly a zombies player, or you've just been playing a lot of Blackout, you want to try multiplayer out, these are going to be the first two ARs you unlock, and it is going to be the ICR-7 and the Rampart 17. Now these are two guns, actually very, very good guns. I enjoy using both of them. In the gameplay you're watching right now, actually using the Rampart 17, but we'll get more into that gun first, and then we'll be getting into the ICR-7 later, and then I'll come back in the middle and just compare, or at the end, and just compare both of them. But we are going to be ranking them based off of the 3 game modes: multiplayer, blackout, and zombies, and then based off of 5 categories, which will be the ammo, the damage, the fire rate, accuracy, and range. So I think it's going to be a fun video, but that's it for the intro for this one. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more awesome content like this, and let's get into it. Alright, so we are going to start off here by talking about the Rampart 17. Now this one's really an interesting version of an AR because it shoots a lot like a light machine gun. And why I say that is it has very high damage for ARs, and it has rather low fire rate for ARs. It shoots kind of slow, as you can see in the gameplay here. It's not really a fast shooting gun. It's kind of slow, but it's very high damage, so if you're hitting your shots, you'll be all good. So overall, my first reaction of using it is the slow fire rate is actually really, really bad and difficult to play with in a setting like multiplayer or blackout. Now in zombies, it's obviously a lot better, and you could really utilize it to your advantage because you're shooting the zombies, but you can still conserve ammo because you're taking slower shots, and you can actually like control your ammo a lot better than like with an SMG where you're just firing consistently. The bad accuracy that it possesses is really, really tough to deal with because I mean, it's not like really bad accuracy, but when it comes to using other ARs and other SMGs, there's just so much more accuracy within those guns, and really the Rampart 17 can't quite like touch that. The power that this gun possesses is really the main claim to fame it has against the ICR, since the ICR really is either even or better at pretty much every single category. The damage of the Rampart 17 is just better, but it's good. It's just not game defining. You can't just like win fights just because of the power of this gun, because really it's not powerful enough. If it was like a super powerful gun, it took like 3 shots to hit, but it still had all that low fire rate, bad accuracy, and stuff like that, then it would be game defining. But this one's still a few hits. It's not that much better than the ICR in damage, but yeah, so the slow fire rate and bad accuracy, I said it's unusable, but that could just be me. You guys could end up using it. I could see if you're like a novice multiplayer player, just trying to jump into it for pretty much your first time, due to the low amount of recoil it has, which is a really good point, and I began noticing it as I kept playing, is the fact that the recoil is very, very low. You're not going to be moving around a lot, so if your aim's not that good, this might be the gun you want, even though the overall accuracy of the bullets can tend to be wayward sometimes. But that kind of happens with all ARs. The high damage, even though it's not game defining, it can still give you plenty of quick kills. See, if you were to sneak up on somebody, they practically have no chance, which is good news for you, because if you're just getting those quick kills, they have no chance to come around to kill you. Again, this is really a gun where if you're a novice player, if you're not that good, this is the gun I think you really should be trying to use. And again, just my final note coming from my final game. Every single game I took a few notes on each of these guns, and really the high power makes it an actually very, very good gun to use. That is all for the Rampart 17 for zombies and multiplayer. Now going to Blackout. Really, I just feel like it doesn't transform to the natural Blackout meta. In Blackout, you want a sniper and you want an SMG. An SMG is something to just shoot real fast. Now, the Rampart, its slow fire rate makes it, you just cannot, you just absolutely cannot use it in place of an SMG. Its fire rate's too slow, so the damage is high, but it's just not out here shooting fast enough, making it maybe not the best option for you to be using. But the damage is good. So if you're starting the game off with this gun, or you're ending it in a longer distance battle, it's not that bad. But once you get close range in most multiplayer and Blackout, it tends to become a worse and worse gun because it can't fire off the shots like that. So the final thing we have here is just the rankings for the Rampart. Now, the ammo, it's 30 rounds per clip and 60 extra rounds in a game of multiplayer. That's 2 extra mags, just like the traditional, pretty much every single gun has 2 extra mags. Its damage was ranked a 9 out of 20, which is just a bit higher than the ICR. The fire rate was 10 out of 20, so it's still not a bad fire rate. Just when you compare it against other ARs and SMGs, it's kind of lackluster. Its range is a 7 out of 20, and its accuracy is an 8 out of 20. So the accuracy doesn't really include recoil, but the low recoil is really a big bonus for this gun. So the Rampart 17, overall, I believe I gave it a grade of a 4.6 out of 10. So obviously not that great of a gun to me, but if you're a novice player, that low recoil, that like powerful shots, you only need to hit a few of them, which is good. Like with an SMG, you gotta hit more shots. This one, you don't need to hit that many shots, and its low recoil makes it easy to hit your shots. So it gets an overall rating of 4.6, but now let's move on to the other gun, the ICR-7. Alright, so starting off with the ICR-7 is, I really feel like its fire rate is very, very, very fast. Like, almost comparable to the point where I would almost classify it as an SMG. It can fire that quickly. Also, with the lower damage, it acts a lot like an SMG. So, when you look at it in a terms of zombies, perspective. So starting off with that first category of zombies, obviously not that good of a gun. You don't want a gun that just fires and wastes all your ammo and isn't all that powerful. So the Rampart, the slower fire rate, and the increased damage is definitely kind of a better play style for a zombies game. We'll get into which one wins each category later, but then moving on to multiplayer, which is really the big one. And in this multiplayer game, where you see a lot of people running around with SMGs just like you do in Blackout. So really, you want the same type of gun almost. And say you're not using an SMG because the range is bad, the accuracy is bad, I would say an ICR-7 would actually be a very, very good replacement. Now, why would I say that? The fire rate is so fast. I don't know if it's just because I got off of using the Rampart right before it, or if its fire rate truly is that fast, but I do know factual evidence the fire rate of the ICR-7 is actually much faster. Now, the accuracy is good, and I actually checked it because in multiple games I was like, wow, this accuracy is actually very, very good. And of a fast firing gun, that's kind of rare to see. You don't often see a gun that fires super duper fast, but is also like a accurate gun, you know? Like, a lot of SMGs, they're just not all that accurate, but they fire fast. The range, I didn't think it was anything that was, like, blowing my mind, really. Like, it wasn't, like, it can't shoot distance. It was just, like, it just wasn't great. Like, I'm not gonna be trying to get people from across the map with this gun. That's just not the way I'm gonna be thinking. But the range isn't like something that's a deal breaker with this gun. Oftentimes, if you're going for range, you're using a sniper, and you're not really going for range with anything else. Really, a big note that I took down was it acts like an SMG. If you're an SMG user, but you want a little bit more range, even though I just hit on the range as being horrible, that's compared against the Rampart. Because, like, the Rampart and other ARs, where this range just isn't all that good. But it acts like an SMG that can shoot a bit farther, but just can't shoot as fast. Now, I think really in the meta we play Blackout in, and the meta we play multiplayer in, those are both very good games. The multiplayer meta is a bit different. The Blackout meta very, very based off of SMGs. Now, the quick fire rate and the good accuracy causes for a lot of quick kills, meaning that you're not even getting shot back because you're able to sneak up behind them possibly. You're going to have them dead. There's no way they could get a shot off. Where the Rampart, that could be a little bit questionable because if you're missing your shots, you just can't fire enough shots quick enough to the point where you can make up for all the missed shots you have. If you have like missed shots. And really quick to the punch is another thing I decided was important. If you like turn a corner and you see somebody, you have a legitimate chance of actually beating them. Like you could fire quick enough where you could be hitting them consistently and just taking them out. At the Rampart, I really didn't see that quality, and it's an important quality. Like say you turn a corner like I did right there, there's a dude there, you could possibly actually beat them to the punch with an ICR, which is something I really didn't find with the Rampart 17. So that's just something. The overall rating for it has 35 bullets per round, which is actually pretty good and really comparable to a lot of SMGs. 5 more bullets per round from the Rampart. The damage is a 7 out of 20, so that's not very good. If you put that into a percentage, that would be 35%. Obviously not very good. The fire rate, though, would be a 60%, which is actually very fast compared to the 50% that the Rampart has. So 10% faster shooting. That's actually very, very good. The range is better and the accuracy is so much better. The accuracy is really a big thing that the ICR actually has over the Rampart. So coming down to the final category, which is Blackout, and that is obviously going to be an ICR-1 category. I know I'm spoiling it for you guys right now, but I think the ICR absolutely wins this category because of its quick fire rate, good accuracy, and mediocre damage. It's more powerful than an SMG, just can't shoot as fast. Now, I'm not sure what the damage per second numbers were because I couldn't actually figure out how much damage each of these guns do because those statistics are not available yet. I looked for them, I swear I did. I couldn't find them, but I tried my hardest. But that's the full breakdown of the ICR. Really acts like an SMG, just with more range and less fire rate. So let's get into the final conclusion, where I will be actually telling you who I think would win in the matchup. Alright, so now you've heard my arguments for why each gun is better than the other, so let's finally decide what gun's better, the ICR-7 or the Rampart 17. Now, both of these guns, obviously good guns. I'm not saying you're wrong if you're using either one of them, but we'll start it off with zombies. Now, the winner of the zombies kind of battle is going to be the Rampart 17. Now, the reason for this is the high damage plus the slow fire rate makes the Rampart an amazing choice for high rounds. It conserves ammo, and that's a huge thing in zombies. Plus, it packs quite the punch, and that's without it being pack-a-punched. So once you pack-a-punch it, obviously more powerful. Both of them have about the same pack-a-punch upgrade, multiplier, stuff like that. I couldn't find the exact zombie stats for both of them, but using both of them in zombies, you can kind of tell that the Rampart was just a more powerful gun. The slower fire rate, too, helps you conserve ammo. So it's a win-win there. Alright, moving on to Blackout. And the winner in Blackout, I already told you this, but it's going to be the ICR-7, so that makes it tied up 1-1. Now, the reason, the high fire rate with good accuracy make it a good all-around weapon. Now, this is something you could be using short range or long range. That's what I mean here. And in a lot of short range battles that you see in Blackout, you need to be able to use the gun short range with a high fire rate. That's exactly what the ICR is going to do for you. But you might also be seeing somebody who's like 100 meters away. You got to put some shots into them. The ICR-7 is also going to have you covered there. And the Rampart, it's just, in Blackout, in this meta that we play Blackout in, it doesn't shoot fast enough at all. So the damage can't make up for it. It's just, you're shooting too fast, honestly. With the ICR-7 making it obviously the better choice. Now, moving on to multiplayer, and this is the main tiebreaker, as it is 1-1. An easy win in zombies for the Rampart, an easy win in Blackout for the ICR-7. So now the question is, what's the better gun to be using in multiplayer? This is going to overall decide, and then I have the stats on which is better in each of those 5 areas that I said earlier. So the overall winner in multiplayer and our overall better gun, which will be moving on to the next round of these gun comparisons, is the ICR-7. Now, the reason its quick fire rate is amazing for fast kills, also the accuracy totally trumps the Rampart, as you can consistently nail your shots that are coming off a lot quicker than the Ramparts are. Now, the Rampart's slow fire rate and barely improved damage over the ICR-7 just doesn't make it enough to have the better gun status. Now, when I say barely improved damage, I mean it's only like a 10% increase in damage, which really isn't enough. I know I said the fire rate for the ICR is a 10% increase, but that 10% increase is much more important when it comes to fire rate than it does when it comes to damage. Now, overall, the ammo is the ICR-7. It has 5 more shots to mag, which means it also carries more in the stock, which made it actually close for zombies in that category, but overall, pretty much everything about the Rampart was better. Damage goes to the Rampart 17, as it received a 9 out of 7, I believe. I think it was a 9 out of 7. I'm pretty certain it received a 9 out of 7 or 9 out of 20. 9 out of 7. Compared to the 7 out of 20 that the ICR received. The fire rate, accuracy, and range all go to the ICR-7, and that's pretty much it. 4-1, the ICR-7 won it. So it was close due to the amazing ability that the Rampart 17 had in the game of zombies, but overall the ICR-7 just completely takes the crown. It is just the better gun to be using due to the quick fire rate, and really I think if you had to choose between these two guns, you're trying to start off multiplayer, pick the ICR-7. That is just my opinion, though. I'm not saying you're wrong if you're using the Rampart 17, because absolutely you are not. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching to this point, please comment down below which gun you would prefer to use in-game. And also leave a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more gun comparisons and just everyday Fortnite and Black Ops 4 content, which is better than anything else on YouTube, I swear. Alright, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.